So with all these moves, making sure we're focusing on the strength, but also the range of motion and just doing them all with perfect form. So with that first move, our squat, I'm tilting those hips, I'm pushing my hips back. A lot of times with a squat, most people just think about coming down, and this is what I end up looking like. What I want is I want those hips going back, and I'm focusing on, think about sitting down in a chair and coming back up. I'm down and I'm back up. With our second move, we have a forward and back lunge. So you have options here. It can just be an alternating front lunge. I can come into an alternating reverse lunge, or a harder challenge would be our pendulum lunges that we've done before, which is just the combination of a back lunge. I'm bringing that leg all the way forward, all the way back, and again, all the way forward. One of those front or back lunges would be our level 1. That pendulum lunge would be our level 2 that eventually we're trying to work into. All right, with our third move, we're going to stick with lunges, but we're going to start getting those moving laterally. With our side lunges, we're going to get down. Level 1, I would come up and I would touch that foot. Level 2, I would get a little balance in there. What we also don't want is to kind of bounce in and out of that lunge. So I want to be able to control that. Get that quad here. I don't need to come all the way down. And then I'm coming back up. I would do those on one side, and then I would switch over that same form. Just like a squat, I want to make sure that my knee's not getting pushed forward or laterally. I'm controlling that move. All right, with our next move, we're coming into our soccer taps. So sometimes it feels a little funny, but there's a lot going on into the hips. With our running, we're doing a lot of this over and over, whether running or biking. So now all of a sudden we're getting inside those hips. We're recruiting some more muscles. There's my soccer tap. If I want to turn it up a little bit, we can increase that pace, but making sure that we're coming up just as high and then I'm not stomping on the ground. We want that to feel smooth. With our next move, we're coming into our skater hops. Again, level 1. A little less stability, and I'm tapping my foot back behind. If I want to increase that, I'm not stepping behind, but you're going to notice whether I'm doing level 1 or level 2, I'm reaching back just as far, I'm working those hips, and I'm not falling all over the place, or at least that's the goal. For our next move, we're going to come down to our glute bridges. Personal preference, what I like to kind of think about is however many squats and lunges I do, I like to do more glute bridges. As we run, we typically are tight and weak in the glutes. Coming down to the ground, I like to have hands up so that I'm not pushing with my hands. You can put those hands wherever you want though. We're lifting up those hips, trying to get a straight line from shoulders to knees. Another way to make this a little bit more challenging and work more hamstrings is to move those feet away. Again, I'm coming up just as high. You can do any kind of combination of glutes here and moving those out. Making sure that I'm driving through my heels and I'm coming up. For our next move, I'm going to come down to all fours and I'm keeping that core engaged. I'm going to pull that knee in and then I'm kicking up as we come into our donkey kicks. As you press up, think about keeping that foot flat. So I'm not pointing those toes and I'm not lifting up my heel. I'm pushing that foot to the ceiling. I can feel that butt cheek coming up high as I press that foot. You'd go one side, you flip over, and you do the other side. Next move, we're coming into our fire hydrant. So again, like the last move, I'm on all fours, and I'm just opening up those hips. I'm only coming as high as I comfortably can without tilting into it. So I want to keep that belly button engaged and also facing down. I'm just opening up those hips. And for our last move, we're going to come into knee circles. With the knee circle, it's important that we get kind of 3 parts of this move. I want to come back, out to the side, and then forward. Not neglecting any of them. I want to make sure that I'm hitting all 3 of those. I would come forward, and then I would just reverse that and go the opposite direction, making sure, again, that I'm getting front, side, and back. Kind of like all of our circuits that we've thrown at you, you can do them a lot of different ways, and there's probably not a right and a wrong way. For us, we would suggest getting really good at hitting 10 reps or 30 seconds of these and focusing on that perfect form and not increasing that until you're able to do 30 seconds perfect without really being tired and fatigued. So make it feel easy before you start bumping that up. Throw this circuit into your next routine.